Floodwater flowing from Washington state to BC exposes vulnerabilities along border. Cars navigate a flooded highway into Sumas, Washington, on November 29. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is working to repair dikes in this area to prevent additional flooding. In a gap in the Saar Creek Levee, surrounded by flooded Washington state farmlands just south of the Canadian border, an excavator flips small boulders into place, then covers them with dirt and gravel. On Monday morning, water was streaming through. By afternoon, that flow had been stanched and the levee slowly began to rise back to its original height. It was a race to shore up defenses before the rains begin again. At this particular spot, less than 3 kilometers from British Columbia, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers said it expected to finish its work Monday. A number of other breaches have also been repaired. But as yet another atmospheric river bears down on the flood-stricken region, at least one major levee breach nearby won't be fixed before heavy rains return, amplifying the vulnerabilities not only here but in British Columbia, where the inundation around Abbotsford has come in part from waters that flowed north out of the U.S. Among the worst remaining breaches is at the Timon Levee alongside the Nooksack, the undammed Washington State River that poured over its banks 2 weeks ago, sending a great pulse of water into Canada. At Timon, the river gouged a gap in the levee more than 30 meters long and nearly 10 meters deep. The force of the water also scoured a deep hole outside the break. After a week of repair work, that scour hole has yet to be filled. Only once that's done, can we then build back the levee, said Keith Russey, a civil engineer with the Army Corps of Engineers. But rather than working on Monday, crews had to contend with fresh flooding that inundated the construction site. The river has swallowed up rock intended to control its course, said John Perry, mayor of nearby Everson, Wash. On Monday, with Everson City Hall still too damaged to use for a meeting, he met a reporter inside the local police station, sitting beside a bench equipped with handcuffs. He took out his phone to show video of the Nooksack flood from 2 weeks ago, which sent water pouring across Everson streets in such a torrent that a pickup truck bobbed past. "That's the water that goes to Abbotsford," he said. "I know Abbotsford is not real happy with us." Mr. Perry sees culpability on all sides, pointing also to the Canadian decision to drain Sumas Lake nearly a century ago, creating an agricultural lowland that has partially refilled in recent weeks.